Hey everyone, and welcome back. You ready for another deep dive?
Always.
Today we're getting into something pretty fascinating. It's called surface pressure mapping. Basically, think about using sensors to figure out how pressure is spread out on a surface. It's like a heat map. But instead of showing you heat, it's all about where the pressure is.
Exactly.
And we're looking at a presentation here from a company called Sensorprod. They make these tactile pressure sensors.
Yeah, their stuff is amazing. Some pretty wild applications.
Seriously. We might be talking about changing how they design car seats or even helping athletes avoid injuries.
And that's just the start. Healthcare, manufacturing, the possibilities are endless.
Okay, so let's get into it.
Sounds good.
First off, what exactly is surface pressure mapping? I mean, we use the term.
Right,
but
it can sound kind of technical.
it does. The presentation defines it as a technique that uses tactile pressure sensors to measure and analyze how pressure is spread across different surfaces. But to really understand this, we got to break it down. What exactly are these tactile sensors?
Okay, so picture this. You have all these tiny little sensors, right?
Okay.
Think of them like super sensitive electronic fingertips.
Fingertips.
Yeah. And each one of them can pick up on the tiniest bit of force. It's crazy sensitive. And when you put a bunch of them together, they can give you a really detailed map of the pressure on a whole surface. Like think about, how a feather lands on your skin.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these sensors can actually pick up pressure changes even smaller than that.
Wow. So they're claiming their sensors are like way more accurate than anything else out there. Why is getting that super precise measurement so important?
Well, it all comes down to understanding the details. Let's say you're designing something like a car seat, right?
Okay.
You don't just want to know that there's, some pressure on the seat. You want to see exactly how that pressure is distributed everywhere. So with really accurate sensors, you can find those little pressure points that might cause discomfort, especially if you're driving a long time.
Right, right.
And it's not just car seats. Think about healthcare. If you can monitor the pressure on a wound super accurately,
Mm-hmm.
that can make a huge difference for healing and preventing complications. That level of detail is crucial.
So in the medical field, and I see they talk a lot about this in the presentation, real-time monitoring with these sensors seems to be a big deal. Why is that?
Because it gives you instant feedback. Like imagine a doctor is working with a patient on physical therapy, right? They could actually see how the patient's body is responding to the treatment in real time,
Yeah.
and then adjust the plan based on what that pressure data is telling them.
That's incredible.
And think about athletes. If they had these sensors in their shoes, they could get instant feedback on their foot strike and how they're running, which could help them improve their performance and prevent injuries.
And looking at this presentation, it seems like this isn't just limited to like one or two fields. They're talking about using this tech in automotive, healthcare, sports science,
It really is everywhere.
like everywhere.
And that's what's so exciting about surface pressure mapping. It's so versatile.
Yeah.
We already talked about car seats and healthcare, but in sports, you could have a tennis racket with sensors that analyze your grip and how you're swinging. And in manufacturing, pressure mapping can help them make sure everything's assembled with just the right amount of pressure.
The possibilities are endless, but with all that data, it can get kind of overwhelming. Like, what good is all that data if nobody understands it?
That's so true. And that's another thing Sensorprod seems to have nailed. Their presentation really highlights how user-friendly their data is. They focused on making the way they present it clear and easy to understand.
So doctors, engineers, athletes, they can all look at this and understand it.
Exactly. Anyone can.
So to recap, we're talking about accuracy and real-time insights. It seems like surface pressure mapping using these tactile sensors could change how we do everything: design, building, even healing.
I think so. It's really groundbreaking stuff.
But here's a question for everyone listening. Now that you know about surface pressure mapping and how it works, where else could you imagine it being used?
Ooh, that's a good one.
What problems could it solve? Maybe even in your own life or your job.
That's something to think about. The possibilities really are endless with this technology.
And that's what we love about these deep dives. It's all about expanding your mind and seeing the world in new ways. Keep learning, keep exploring, and who knows what you'll discover.
Exactly.
We'll see you next time.
See you then.